Good morning. I am Mr. Dibyendu Mondal, Assistant Professor of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management under GIS Group, which is situated at Baripur. Today, I am discussing about solid mechanics. Today's topic, that is the theory of elasticity. Module 1, lecture number 4. So, good morning students. Our today's topic, theory of elasticity. Theory of elasticity, actually what is the definition of elasticity? Elasticity, that is when the load is removed, the material gets back to its original shape, original orientation. Okay, actually previous year, lots of years ago, the power of any spring body is in the same proportion with the extension. The mathematical theory developed and extended to other materials since that times is associated with the names of practically all great mathematical physicists. The line of inquiry has never been broken, and in recent times we witness the most vigorous developments. Our first task is therefore to give it precise expression. First one, our first topic is the Hooke's law and its consequences. Okay, Hooke's law, the prototype of theory of elasticity and viscoelasticity. Hooke's law and its consequence. First one, let us consider the static equilibrium state of a solid body under action of external forces P1, P2. Okay, let the body be supported in some manner so that at least 3 points are fixed in space, which is described with respect to a rectangular Cartesian frame of reference. We shall make 3 basic hypotheses regarding the properties of the body under consideration. First hypothesis, the body is continuous and remains continuous under the action of external forces. Okay, body is continuous and remains continuous under the action of external forces. Okay, under this hypothesis, this atomistic structure of the body is ignored and the body idealized into a geometrical copy in Euclidean space whose points are identified with the material of the body. The continuity equation, the continuity is defined is the mathematical sense with respect to this idealized continuum. Neighboring points remain as neighbors under any loading condition. No cracks or holes may open up in the interior of the body under the action of external forces. A material satisfying this hypothesis is said to be a continuum. The study is therefore deformation or motion of a continuum is called continuum mechanics. Actually, to introduce the second hypothesis, let us consider the action and the direction of the force First one, let the forces be denoted P1, P2, P3 dot 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 Pn, and their magnitude be P1, P2, P3, Pn, okay, like that. Then the ratios P1, P2, P3 and Pn remains fixed. When such a set of process is applied on the body deforms. Let the displacement of an arbitrary point in an arbitrary direction be measured with respect to a rectangular Cartesian frame of reference fixed with supports. Let the displacement be denoted by u. Then our second hypothesis is the Hooke's law. Very, very important. Second hypothesis is the Hooke's law. Okay. Hooke's law, u equal to a1 p1 plus a2 p2 plus dot 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 an pn, where a1 a2 a3 dot 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 an are constant. So therefore Hooke's law, that is equal to u is equal to a1 p1 plus a2 p2 plus dot 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 an pn, where a1 a2 and an up to an, that are the constant, okay, independent of magnitude of p1 p2 dot 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 pn. The constant a1 a2 dot 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 an depends of course on the location of the point at which the displacement component is measured and on the directions and point of application of the individual forces of the loading. Hooke's law in the form of second hypotenuse is one that can be subjected readily direct experimental examination. Our third hypothesis, that is there exists a unique unstressed state of the body to which the body returns whenever all external forces are removed. Okay, there exists a unique unstressed state of the body to which the body returns whenever all the external forces are removed. A body satisfying these three hypotheses is called linear elastic solid. A number of deduction can be drawn from this assumption. First one is the principle of superposition. Okay, the principle of superposition for loads at the same point. Principle of superposition for load at the same point. First one, let P1 and P1 prime be the forces in the same direction acting to the same point. Then the resultant displacement u is equal to the sum of the displacement produced by P1 and P1 prime acting individually, regardless of the order of application of P1 and P1 prime. So this is evident from second hypothesis when applied to one load alone. Now our second topic, principle of superposition. Okay, principle of superposition, actually by a combination of H2 and H3 we can show that first equation, means Hooke's law equation, is valid not only for system of loads for which the ratio P1 P2 dot 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 Pn remain fixed as originally assumed, but also for an arbitrary set of loads P1, P2 Pn. In other words, equation 1 holds regardless of the order in which the loads are applied. The constant A1 is independent of the loads P2, P3 Pn. The constant A2 is independent of the loads P1, P2, Pn, etc. This is the principle of superposition of the load and deflection relationship. Proof. If a proof of the statement above can be established for an arbitrary pair of loads, first one, then the general theorem can be proved by mathematical induction. Let P1, P2 with magnitude P1 and P2 be a pair of arbitrary loads acting at point 1 and 2 respectively. Let the deflection in the specific direction can be measured at a point 3. According to H2, if P1 is applied alone, then at the point 3, this is the point 3, then at the point 3, according to hypothesis 2, if P1 is applied alone, then at the point 3 a deflection U3 that is equal to C31 P1 is produced. If P2 is applied alone, a deflection U3 that is equal to C32 P2 is produced. If P1 and P2 are applied together at the ratio P1 ratio P2 fixed, then according to H2 the deflection can be written as U3 equal to C31 prime P1 plus C32 prime P2. Okay, the question arises whether C prime 31 equal to C31 or C prime 32 equal to C32. Actually, the answer is affirmative. So answer is affirmative as can be shown as follows. After P1, P2 are applied, we take away P1. This produces a change in deflection. That is the deflection always negative, so that is the minus C31 double prime P1, and the total deflection becomes U3 that is equal to C prime 31 P1 and C32 C prime 32 P2 that is equal C32 minus C32 P2. Now all the loads are removed and U3 must vanish. According to rearranging term, we have C prime 31 minus C prime 31 P1 that is equal to C32 minus C prime 32 P2. Now, since the only possible difference of C prime 31 and C double prime 31 must be caused by the action of P2, the difference C prime 31 minus C double prime 31 can only be a function of P2 and not of P1. Similarly, C32 minus C prime 32 can only be a function of P1. So C prime 31 minus C double prime 31 by P2 equal to C32 minus C prime 32 by P1. Then the left hand side C prime 31 minus C double prime 31 by P2 yes equal to C32 minus C prime 32 by P1. Okay. Then the left hand side is a function of P2 alone and the right hand side is a function of P1 alone. Since P1 and P2 are arbitrary numbers, the only possibility for equation to be valid is for both sides of the constant k, which is independent of both P1 and P2. Okay. Now here C prime 32 equal to C32 minus K P1, but a substitution of F into a yields U3 equal to C prime 31 P1 plus C32 P2 minus K P1 P2. Okay. An analogous procedure, the last term is nonlinear in P1 and P2 and will contradict unless K vanishes. Hence K equal to 0. So C prime 32 equal to C32. An analogous procedure shows C prime 31 equal to C double prime 31 equal to C31. Thus, the principle of superposition established for 1 and 2 forces and entirely similar procedure will show that it is valid for M forces. It is also valid for M plus 1 forces. Thus, the general theorem follows by mathematical induction. The constant C31, C32, etc. are seen to be significant in defining the elastic property of the solid body. They are called influence coefficient or more especially flexibility influence coefficient. We have derived the principle of superposition B from the hypothesis H2 and H3. Conversely, if we have assumed the general principle of superposition as a part of Hooke's law, then by allowing equation 1 to be valid for an arbitrary set of loading, that a unique unsteady state exists follows as a consequence. Now, next one, the corresponding forces and displacement and the unique meaning of the total work done by the forces. That is another one. Corresponding forces and displacement and the unique meaning of the total work done by the forces. Let us now consider a set of external forces P1, P2 ... Pn acting on the body and define the set of displacement at the point of application and in the direction of the loads as the displacement corresponding to the forces at this point. The reaction at the points of support are considered as external forces exerted on the body and included in the set of forces. Under the loads P1 ... Pn, the corresponding displacement may be written as U equal to C11 P1, C12 P2, C1n ... Pn, U2 equal to C21 P1, C22 P2, C2n Pn. So similarly you may write down un equal to cn1 p1 cn2 p2, okay, cnn pn. So here if we multiply the first equation by p1, so the equation comes p1 u1 plus p2 u2 plus dot 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 pn un, that is equal to c11 p1 square plus c12 p1 p2 plus dot 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 c1n p1 pn c21 p1 p2 c22 p2 square plus dot 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 cnn p2 square. The quantity above is independent of the order in which the loads are applied. Hence, it has a definite meaning for each set of loads P1 dot 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 Pn. Now a special case, the meaning of the quantity on the left hand side of equation 3 is clear. This is the case in which the ratios P1 ratio, P2 ratio, P3 dot 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 Pn are kept constant and the loading increases very slowly from 0 to the final value. In this case, the corresponding displacement also increases. And P1, that is exactly half of P1 U1. P2, that is exactly half of P2 U2. Hence, we conclude from that the total work done by this set of forces is independent of the order in which the forces are applied. So that is the end of today's lecture. Okay, if you like it, you have to subscribe, and if you have any query, okay, you may ask. If you have any query, you may ask. Okay, thank you. You may contact anytime. Okay, thank you.